There's a part of growth that rarely gets shown. It isn't dramatic, it isn't inspiring, it doesn't look like a breakthrough, it's quiet. When people talk about improving their life, they talk about the beginning, the decision, or the end, the result. They don't talk about the middle, that middle space where nothing feels clear anymore. You've decided to change. You've stopped certain habits. You've started setting boundaries. You're thinking differently, but your life doesn't look better yet. And that's where the quiet phase begins. It's the phase where you pull back. You stop explaining yourself. You stop reacting to everything. You stop chasing conversations that drain you. You stop trying to prove that you've changed. From the outside, it can look like nothing is happening, but internally, everything is rearranging. The quiet phase feels uncomfortable because there's less noise to distract you, no constant validation, no immediate praise, no dramatic wins, just space. And space feels heavy when you're not used to it. You begin to notice how much of your old life was built on reaction, replying quickly, overthinking what people think, trying to stay relevant in rooms that didn't really fit you. When you start improving, you naturally withdraw from that. Not because you're better, not because you're cold, but because you're conserving energy, and that's when doubt creeps in. You wonder if you're becoming distant, if you're losing connections, if you're making a mistake. It feels strange when you no longer crave the same attention, the same approval, the same chaos. The quiet phase can feel lonely, even when you're surrounded by people, because you're no longer performing who you used to be. You observe more, speak less, choose carefully. There's no applause for that, no visible milestone, just subtle shifts. You begin to see patterns clearly. Who only reached out when you were available, who expected access without effort, who felt comfortable when you were smaller, and instead of reacting to everything, you watch. You let things reveal themselves. This phase doesn't reward impulsiveness. It rewards awareness. You sit with your thoughts longer. You don't rush decisions. You don't jump to fill silence. And that silence teaches you. It shows you where you've been overextending, where you've been tolerating too much, where you've been moving without direction. The quiet phase isn't glamorous. It's slow. It's repetitive. Sometimes it feels like nothing is happening, but something is. You're stabilizing. When you're trying to improve, your old identity fades before the new one fully forms. That in-between space feels unstable. And instead of panicking, the quiet phase asks you to stay there, to not rush into a new version of yourself just to escape discomfort. That's where real change begins to anchor, not in loud promises, not in public declarations, but in private consistency. You wake up and choose differently. You respond differently. You let certain things go without announcing it. Slowly, your energy shifts. You don't feel the need to argue every point. You don't feel pulled into every situation. You don't feel responsible for everyone's comfort. That doesn't mean you've stopped caring. It means you've become selective. The quiet phase is where your internal standards reset, what you tolerate, what you engage with, what you allow near you. It may feel like you're disappearing for a while, but you're not disappearing. You're separating from what no longer fits. The noise reduces. Clarity replaces it. You become more aware of your limits, more aware of your capacity, more aware of your direction. You don't come out of this phase louder. You come out steadier, and steadiness is powerful, because once you've experienced the quiet phase, you stop rushing growth. You understand that improvement isn't always visible. Sometimes it looks like doing less, speaking less, reacting less, but thinking more clearly. The quiet phase nobody talks about isn't a setback. It isn't isolation. It isn't failure. It's the part where you stop growing for appearance and start growing for alignment. And when you come out of it, your changes won't need to be announced. They'll be obvious, not because you forced them, but because you stayed long enough in the silence for them to become real.